learn a little bit about camera work, which is very important because good scenes obviously need good lighting, but they also need good composition. There are a few cool tricks to add some life to your cameras, to use them in a better way, let's say. So we're just gonna dive into this today. First of all, I want you guys to know I'll be using not this one, but this asset. I'm just gonna paste it in the chat. There we go. You can just download it. It's a free asset from our very good friend Renshen, who I also already did a session talking about how his blend files are amazing, how I love to work with this stuff. So this is a free asset. You can download it. As you can see, it's a cool road type of setting, and we're gonna do something cool with it today. If you're not in the chat or you want to revisit them later, I also posted them inside the Blender forum Blender session camera tricks. Alright, so that's that. And second link I'm gonna post already is a GitHub link to the Camera Shakify add-on for Blender. It's one of my most used add-ons I've been using lately. It looks a bit weird if you don't know what this is all about, but we'll go some deeper into why this looks like this, and that it's actually safe to use because it looks pretty scammy. But it is not, and I 100% guarantee you will be using this plugin 100% of the time. So let's start by opening Blender, and let's start by opening the free road scene. All right, I'm recording. I hope, Jimmy, I'm not rigging anymore. I don't know how I sound to me. I think I sound nice to me. But I hope everything gets sorted soon, Jimmy. Maybe your internet is lagging. Okay, so this is our scene. And let's go to animation view so we can have a proper look around. So as we can see, we have just like it's under a bridge for a car where you can drive. So we only have this. Okay, so there's already a camera in here, and I'm gonna just delete the camera so we can start over by pressing X and then delete. Perfect. Okay. Maybe the first thing to do would be cool to have some kind of beast in it to really make it a kit called Beast Blender session. So let's just, I already added my beast. Let's just add a walking beast. I'm just gonna make him walk in place. There we go, downloading with skin. Let's download. And then we just wait a minute till we downloaded it. Downloading started, and we're gonna input it into Blender. If you don't know how to use Mixamo or how to input your beast, there are tons of tutorials, you can check them out. But today will be about cameras, so we will not go deeper into this today, because I already did it 1,000 times, I think. I mean, if you don't know how to import your beast into Blender yet, then you really need to start looking at the tutorials. Okay, so we have a cool beast in here. Let's see if he's walking. Yeah, he's walking perfectly. Let's go. Start frame 1 and frame 300. That will be cool. Okay, so for today, what I want to do is I'm gonna add a camera. Let's see. So we just added our camera. And now I want to see what our camera will be looking like. So here we can see, I click on a camera, I'm in animation screen, click on a camera, and then on my left tab, I set active camera. So 3D viewport, set active camera. There we go. Now we see what our camera sees, which is important when you're making stuff. You need to know what your final render is gonna look like, what you're actually filming with your camera. So very important step. Make sure to put set active camera. Then for resolution, this kind of depends on what you're going for. If you're going for, let's say, a TikTok video, then maybe your resolution would be better, 1080 by, I don't know, 1920. So you have the square in here. I'm just gonna crop the render region. You have the, okay, set active camera again. You have the full screen of the phone. So this is a perfect resolution for, let's say, TikTok, for Instagram Reels as well. If you want to do something more for Twitter, let's say I usually take 2000 by 2000, so we have a nice little square, looks clean, works every time. Okay, so now our camera is pointing a bit to the floor. It's not pointing nowhere near our beast, but I want it to be straight, and now it's like sideways. As we can see, rotation X 75, Y 0.7, minus 25. It's a bit strange values. So rotation X we put in 90, rotation Y we put in 0, rotation Z we put in 0, and there we have our perfectly aligned camera that's perfectly aligned with our underground garage or road, mountainy road. I'm just gonna put it to the back a little bit, and there we have our beast right in the middle of our scene. So that's like basically what you need to do first when you're starting. Make sure your camera is in there, make sure your dimensions are alright, and just start by having a basic setup of how you want things to look. Now that we have our basic setup, we can view, because now, yeah, we only see like the gray stuff that you're used to seeing when you're working in 3D, but we want to see what it's gonna look like when rendered. So I'm just gonna click on the bowl, viewport shading, and we just give it a second, and it should give us what the render will look like. Okay, so as we can see here, we have a nice little scene. There are some textures missing from our beast. I can't watch this, so I'm really quickly going to fix this. It's not really what this session today will be about, but I really can't stand watching something that isn't importing GLB. Let's see, downloads again, Blender session. Okay, it's not in here. Okay, let's just scroll down a bit. We'll find it, no worries. We want something cool, right? So we're just gonna put in the work today. 1538, that's my beast. We just give him a second. There we go. So why did I import the GLB file of the beast? Because in the GLB file the textures are correctly exported. So now I only need to put on the texture from the FBX beast, etc, etc. So I'm just gonna quickly go to shading, and there we see business 16 should be, let's click on this one again, business 001. So we're just gonna swap it, business 001. Then we have the legs as well, tattoo Japan skin 001, and I think the face usually, yeah, there's some weird stuff, 001, and the rest should be fine if we done these things. 001, and the last eye 001. Okay, perfect. So we done it. Our beast looks clean again. Our beast looks perfect, ready to go today. I think it looks a bit big as well. So we're going to go to, I click on my armature. I just want it to a little bit smaller, so I click on my armature. I go to object properties. Here we can see scale. I'm just going to bring my scale down to 0.8. It's just a guess. 0.8 and 0.8. Yeah, that looks better to me. It's not too big. It might be a little bit smaller as well, but okay. There we go. So what do we want to do today? We want our camera to be, now we see the beast walking, but we want to be the beast that's walking. We want, like, we don't want to see the beast that's walking. We want the beast to be holding the camera, and we want the camera to be able to see, like, the camera does like this a little bit or something. So this is where our plugin comes in handy, the GitHub plugin. So I posted the link in here. I'm just gonna post it again for anyone who just joined right now. There we go. the GitHub link. When we go to this GitHub link, there are lots of stuff. If you're not a developer, which I'm not, and developing sounds like a nightmare, to be honest. All the code, all the little iterations. Okay, but so how does it work? Here you have something that's been built by Eat the Future, and he built just something to work more easily in Blender because he had a problem he wanted to solve. So he built this and he put this on his GitHub account, and he just said, "Hey world, feel free to use my code." So we're gonna do just that today. So GitHub site, here we see the, I don't know what they are called, I think brackets, and then we see code, and then we see the little arrow. So we go on here. And what we do now is we download the zip file. Okay, so we download the zip file, and it's already done because it's only 70 kilobytes of memory. So there we go, we downloaded the application that we're gonna need. Now we still need to install this application. So how do we go about that? We go to File, no, we go to Edit, and then we click on Preferences. Here we see all kinds of tabs. We click on Add-ons, and we want to install a new add-on. So we click on Install, we go to our downloads, we scroll down till we see our zip file, and I have a lot of files. We have our camera, Shakify. We click on it, and there we go. Normally the zip should be installed right now, so we're gonna search for it, camera Shakify, and there we go, animation camera Shakify. Is anyone having trouble with installing the add-on, or is everything running smoothly with you guys? Okay, I think that says enough. Everything should be running smoothly. So what do we do now? We go to we click on our camera, and we click on our little camera icon. And what do we have now is camera Shakify. So this is a plugin, and this plugin is, you can see it on my latest videos as well on Twitter. It just adds, like someone is actually filming your scene, because when you're working in Blender and you use your camera from left to right, down, up, I mean it's super static. No one can film as static as you are doing in Blender. So we just click on our camera Shakify, we click the little plus, and there we go, investigation. So this means that there is a preset that's now our shake preset on the camera. Let's see what this preset does. You see how the camera moves? It's shaking. So it means that like it looks like someone is literally holding the camera and like he's filming in real life. So it's not a dead camera angle. No, it's a moving camera with life, with it's like it's filmed in real life, and that's what this app is great for. So we have a couple of things we can do in here. We have the shake. So these are all different kinds of presets. For example, you have the investigation shake, you have the close-up shake, which will be a little less shaky than investigation. We also have the wedding shake, which is even a little less. Imagine your drunk uncle on a wedding filming everything from his handycam. Well, that's exactly what the wedding preset is for. We have handycam run, for example, a very hard setting where the subject is really running and it just, yeah, goes up and down and it's bouncing all over the place. Out the car window, when you're filming out of your car, you see some bumps in the road that your camera is taking. It all feels very natural, and as you can see, it takes literally 1 second. Like, how long does it take to give life to your camera? Like, literally click on a camera, add Shakify, and you're done. Your camera just came to life. So it's such a little simple trick that you really have to start using in your animations, because they do so much to really blending everything together, and it literally takes 1 second. So we have a little more knobs in here. We have the influence knob. So right now, as you can see, it's being left to right, it's all over the place. So as we can see here, the line, now it's there, but on another place the line switches all the way up to here. Maybe we don't want to do it that much. So what we're gonna do is now influence is 0, so now it's not moving, but we can just add like how much it's moving around. So there we have a little less shaky. We can do even less shaky. So that's what influence does. You can just use this as much as you want. Don't try overdoing it every time, because it's a cool effect, and using it like in little increments will have an amazing impact on your animations. But if you're going to use 100% influence on all your animations, I think it will be a strange thing to be watching your animations all the time. So very good tool, use it with caution. We also have the scale we can do. I mean, here we see it's still moving a lot, but it's moving in another way. So I think it's better we can show it like this. So now the scale is as we can see here, the camera, and we have the camera frame. So when you move the scale, it's placing, it's displacing, let's say like this. So now it's gonna be more, you see, to the left. When I put the scale just back at 0, it's going to be perfectly where we place our camera. So that's something you need to keep in mind as well. For example, if you did a whole animation and you put everything into place perfectly, but you're going to put your camera shakeify on your camera, some things might not be in the picture as clearly as you want anymore. So that's where the scale is coming in handy. You can just select how much you want this to move around in the screen, let's say. So I'm just gonna put the scale back to 1. Then we have some speed and some frame offsets. I basically choose between one preset and then influence a bit, and that's it. For the rest, I just make sure this is looking cool and this is looking great. And now how we're gonna use it, like you can just use it while filming. So let's say we want to film our beast that's just walking. Okay, so I'm just gonna show what this looks like. I'm gonna go back to frame 1. We just want to show our beast walking. So I'm gonna camera frame 1, right click camera, insert keyframe, and I'm gonna click location, rotation and scale, and now our camera will be in this position always when we're doing some frame changes. So our camera will always be on this position. Now we're gonna make sure the camera moves forward. Let's say it moves forward to here. So first you need to select your frames. I always forget this one. First select your frames where you want your camera to go, then move your camera, and then insert keyframe, location, rotation and scale, et voila, your camera is moving around. I'm just gonna turn off viewport shader because it will be a little bit messy if we keep using this. Et voila, your camera is now moving in a fluent way, because it's not just moving straight, it's moving up and down, left, right a bit. It's like there's someone walking next to your beast, so it's just moving in a perfectly natural way next to your beast. Now of course our beast is not going anywhere because we made him stay in place, so we're gonna do the same for our beast. I'm just gonna insert keyframe for the location, and I'm just gonna make it go forward a bit, and I again forgot to put in my keyframes first. So always remember, kids, to put in your keyframes, and we will just, let's go, insert keyframe, location, and if everything went well, our beast should be walking towards with the camera. So why isn't our beast walking here anymore? As we can see, our keyframes for our Mixamo animation was only, let's say, 30 keyframes long. So how do we fix this? We just select all our keyframes, the easy fix, duplicate. We're just gonna paste it we're just gonna paste it, and there we go. And as we can see now, our beast is not walking again with our camera. It just starts here. So that's because we didn't do this keyframe part before doing our keyframe part. So we again need to here insert keyframe, location, go back to the 19th one, and let's see how it moves now. And now it moves better. Nope, it didn't move better right now, so we're just gonna redo. There are ways you can just make him walk in a straight line without having to do all these side steps. This might be a good tutorial for another time, to be honest. I had some trouble with figuring out how to make him just walk in a line continuously, like not in place. It was not so hard as it looks like to get it set up, but however it needed some steps that were out of my league at a time, so this will be for next time. But right now let's just do the easy fix, and yeah, he's still doing it. So we're just going to go back once more, and let's just, to keep it simple, move our camera frames a little less long, insert keyframe, location, camera can go a little bit further, insert keyframe, location, and there we have it. Now everything is moving perfectly. There's some numbers floating around. Let's just delete those. Thank you very much. Okay, so now everything is moving perfectly together, perfectly smooth, and we have a pretty cool animation going on. Let's see how it looks in the shader view. Let's give him a second. Okay, perfect. This is looking very natural camera work. As I say, in your animations, camera shakeify, very important to really give your animation, to really make them come to life. Okay, so now let's do something else. I'm just gonna open the same file again, free road scene, don't save. Let's show some other cool things you can do with the camera. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to animation to make it work easy. Let's delete the camera that was in there. I'm gonna just import the GLB file today because we don't need it to be animated. Let's go down to 15. Where are you? 15. There we go. We just give him some time to set up. There we go. Our clean beast has entered the building. Okay, I'm gonna add a camera, because how can you talk about cameras if there's not a camera in your scene? Let's again do what we always do. God damn it. What we always do when we enter a scene with our camera: rotation straight, Y 0, Z 0, and make sure we have the desired resolution. Let's have a look. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Okay, awesome. Okay, so another thing about cameras, as you might have noticed already or not, you can zoom or zoom out just by clicking the yellow square that's around your camera. So if you, instead of going like this, you can just easily zoom like this as well. You can always over zoom so that it won't look natural anymore, but it might give some cool effects. Like a fisheye effect is the easiest way to get your fisheye looking cool, is just by zooming out too much. Zooming in will just get you some zoomed in footages. But that's a cool way to get your fisheye effect going. Just zoom out a little bit too much and your fisheye effect will be there instantly. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna add something in the background. Maybe some cool car would be nice to have in this scene. Maybe we can have a toppled car, that could be nice. So it looks like our beast is the danger of the town. Okay, let's just, there we go. Okay, let's just search for the car. The car is here. Go in the back car. Let's just turn it around a bit. Okay. Oh, too much. Yeah, perfectly. Okay. Damn, our beast looks such a menace right now. I'm gonna add some flames. Fire. Yeah, some flames. Let's go. Add some flames to the car. Okay. Animated fire sprite. Let's go. There we go. Our car is on fire. I heard Discord. Nice. Thanks, mate. Okay, so what I want to talk about right now is a little cool stuff about blurring inside of Blender. Like depth of field is something that's used in a lot of ways. Like it means depth of field, it means that your background is blurry and that your camera is focusing on one thing. And in real life, it's something that happens a lot. You just have to zoom in on your object, or on most iPhones you have portrait mode where it zooms in on the person and the rest is blurry. Well, we can do the same in Blender, and this is with depth of field. So the only thing we have to do is we have to select our camera. Then we go to the depth of field tab. Okay, and then we need to select depth of field, that we want to use depth of field. So in here we have two objects. We have focus object, or we have distance. So distance will manually be the case. My camera is, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meters from my object. So I want the distance of where my camera is going to focus to be 5 meters. And normally it should be focusing only on the object that is right here. However, this can be a little tedious, because if you make the wrong choice, everything is gonna be blurry, and that's something you don't want. You want, as we can see here, everything is blurry. We want a clean result, and we want the background to be a little bit blurry, but we still want our object to be looking great. So what we're gonna do is focus object, and we're just gonna put it on, for example, the balaclava. And now he's only focusing on the balaclava. So if I go closer, the focus will remain on the balaclava, and if I go further, the focus will also again remain only on this balaclava. So I'm just gonna go a little bit closer, and as we can see, the focus balaclava is super clear, but here we can see in the background everything is becoming blurry. That's because depth of field, focus object, we are just focusing on our balaclava. For example, if we would focus on the car, on the car, now the car will be in the main subject. As you can see here, our beast is now a little bit blurry. Why? Because we're focusing on the car, and we don't want the beast to be the main object. We want the car to be real crisp. So yeah, that's how this works, and you can use it pretty cool. You can use it in a lot of ways. I think there are ways to do this as well in Photoshop, so you don't have to do it in Blender, but as you can see, it's not so much work to make it work, and it's a pretty cool tool to have to make everything blurry. So we also have lens types. As you can see, literally our lens just really went a gazillion times bigger. We have panoramic types, which is also a super easy kind of fisheye effect here at the top. So we're camera, lens types. So we have the panoramic fisheye equal solid. Now we have all kinds of effects in here you can try out. This is when you see, like, you see this a lot when you're choosing HDRs, lightnings. Like, this shows how everything in your scene reacts. But if you want to create a little world ball with this, if you think it's fancy, you can just use it for this. There are tons of ways you can use this creatively, but for today, let's just stick with the perspective type of camera lens, because yeah, that's the how do you say, most realistic way to have something pop out of your blender, because that's actually what we want, to make something that looks cool. Yeah, we want something cool, but we also want something that kind of looks real though. At least I do. Like, it needs to have that kind of oof vibe to it, you know. And that's, yeah, perspective lens, let's say. Okay, I'm just gonna add another car for some crash effect. Ooh, another crashed car. Let's go. Let's just give the car a second. I heard a pling. Yeah, there are some cool things you can do with it, with camera lenses, and it might be, yeah. For example, if I use the panoramic, let's go back to the fisheye. It's a cool effect that you can use a couple of times, but yeah, you're not gonna be able to use this in all of your renders. However, it might be cool to use a few times. Definitely worth to experiment a little bit with it. As I also saw, to import the upside down car. Oh, that's Blender Kit MetaMark. So Blender Kit, I don't know if it's marked anywhere. Let's see here, Blender Kit. It looks like this, and all these things you can just import. You have a free version as well, and if you want to search for the free assets, you can just do free first, and then you only see the free assets to import, and they have a ton of stuff. Very neat plugin. I use it all the time. Okay, so let's do our car placement again. Should the car be flying? Like you just went over it or something? Really cool. Okay, let's just put the car. Yeah, it looks a bit weird. I'm just going to put it down on top of it. Let's change our workflow a bit. Let's put it behind. Let's close this thing down because I'm not seeing what I need to see. Let's put it down. Let's go back a bit. Put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down. Okay, awesome. We have a total car wreck happening. Let's add some more fire. Fire, 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 fire. I'm just gonna do again this animated fire sprite. I think I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger. And the other one, scale 3, 3, 3. There we go. That's a fire. Okay. So, what's very important in camera usage is where your camera stands. Where is your camera situated? So we have this scene, and this scene is looking pretty cool. We have a neat fire going on here. We have some cool cars, but having this view of your scene, or having, for example, let's say, let me just do something real quick. This view of your scene will immensely change how your scene is interpreted by the audience. So let's just give him a second. Okay, great test. So what happened here? Why are we just seeing a blurry fire? Why are we not seeing any details? Could anyone tell me why? Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. That's a free singing lesson. Yeah, that's right, Jimmy. So we forgot to depth of field. We're still on our balaclava focus. So depth of field off, and now we see our cars again. So why is it important to see where your camera is situated? Because it changes everything about your scene. It can turn a terrible scene into a great one, vice versa. If we, for example, would use what would have been good in another angle, now this angle we see that our fire is floating. So now we again need to make fixes to our whole scene. And now the fire is in front of the car. We can't have that. So again, we need to make a fix to our scene. Now it looks normal again. But thanks to our camera work, we needed to do some fixes to our scene, and that will happen all the time. You do a render and you won't be happy with how it looks or the vibe of it. Just for the love of God, change your camera around like 3 or 4 times. Try some takes. Maybe this is the thing you like. Okay, no, maybe this is the view you like. Okay, maybe we need to go a little bit further. Okay, yeah, this is cool. This looks like a car crash again. So if you're doing a render, try out different placements of your camera, and it will be the case in a lot of times. If you're moving your camera around a lot, you will have to make some changes into your scenery as well. I'm just gonna try to, for example, we had the car scenery that was looking really like you were looking into a car crash, but by just changing our camera for a second here, we see how it's like to be inside of the car. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, we need to be a bit more to the front. Let's add some fire into the car as well. And here we can see what it's like to be inside of the car, which is a totally different perspective, a totally different story for anyone who is watching your renders. Camera placement is so important. You can do so much things with your camera. Really think about how you want to use your camera, where you're gonna place your camera, what you want to zoom in on. Do you need something that's really being highlighted in your scene, or do you really want everything in your scene to pop out? Really just be smart about what you want to show to the viewer and how you want to make sure the viewer understands what you want to show. As well, depth of field, very interesting, and the camera shakeify is, if you're doing animations, I mean, one of the best plugins to get your moving camera shake going without spending the rest of your life to just make a cool, interesting, normal looking camera shake. Are there any questions by anyone? Are there questions not related to cameras? Some things you don't know how to figure out on yourself? Some questions about Blender Kit? Let's say.
No question so far.
Alright, awesome. Y'all are just too fluent in Blender already. 4 a.m. is actually in pre-sale right now, Red, if you hold, concentrate. But enough about that. Okay, Yos. Yeah, now you're making me think of 4 a.m. But I don't think you hold concentrate, Red, so I think you'll have to wait till till Friday when it's out for everyone. Okay, so what do we want to do now? Oh, we can do a little selfie. That would be cool. Everyone down to do a little selfie with our beast? That would be a cool thing to do. Free road scene. Do not save. So the car crash is gone, guys. If y'all ever need a car crash, be sure to hit me up. So we will need, for a selfie, we will need a beast that is rigged. So a Mixamo Beast would be fine. A Mixamo Rig, I mean. Blender Sesh. Okay, 1.5. Do you guys remember the number of my beast? 1.538. Let's go. Okay, so this is our rigged beast. We're gonna take a selfie today. So how we're gonna take a selfie? So first things first, let's add a camera. And when you're taking a selfie, your dimensions are usually the ones of a flat phone, right? So let's say 920, 1080. Let's go, perfect. Okay, so this is really a selfie vibe. Okay. Let's go to Mixamo. Okay, so this is the Mixamo Blender plugin add-on. Easy to install. It was the same way to install as we did with the camera Shakify. But what does this do? You can zero out rig, for example. If it's not in T-pose, you can put your model in T-pose, and you can create a control rig, which I will be doing right now. And as you can see, our lines or bones turned into lines. And why is that cool? Because now if we go to object mode, we can just take the hand and we can just move it around and move it around like we want. So when you're taking a selfie, most of the time, I'm not a huge selfie expert, but most of the time your hand would be in the frame, right? Well, not your hand, but your arm, because you're taking the selfie. So let's just do it like this. Maybe he wants his selfie to be up a little bit higher. Okay, there we go. Our other arm is floating around, which is a little bit weird, so let's just make it normal again. This hand pose is just hilarious. But we're gonna leave it because we're not going to see it anyway. So let's go back to our camera. Okay, so we want our selfie to be looking as clean as possible. So I want to make sure that our arm is visible on the selfie, but not our hand. So I still see the hand a little bit too much. I'm gonna just make sure the face is in there. And I think it's a little bit too much zoomed in on the face right now. So how are we gonna fix it? By unzooming with our camera like this, so we see more of ourselves. Look at this. No, not yet. Hold on, let me save that thought. Look at this perfect selfie. So I'm gonna show the render view, but be prepared for a purple face. We can fix it as well. I'm just gonna fix it because I don't like purple faces. Since I started doing Blender, I can't see the color pink or purple anymore because it just makes me think that something is wrong. Let's just fix it real quick. Alright, there we go. We only need the shading. Let's do it here. Business, business, and then we have the 2 Japan skin. The 2 Japan skin. Let's do it again for the face. The 2 Japan skin. And there we have a glorious selfie. I don't feel like the camera is zoomed out enough because we don't see enough of his arm. This looks better in my opinion. So we see the arm clearly, we see the face, and I think we could add a little bit more light to it as well because it's looking a little dark. So we just add a little light. Let's make it shine to the face because selfies nowadays, oh, I didn't want to do that. Selfies nowadays have like the selfie flash where your phone just lights up. Okay, so now there's a little bit more light, maybe a little too much. Let's say 5 because Let's be honest, it doesn't give so much light, a camera. Et voila, there we go. We can still move this arm around a little bit because we do see it now. And we don't like this pose. We're just gonna do some strange things with it. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, there we go. And we have a beautiful selfie of the one and only beast. Let's try to render this one. And let's just give him a second. Yeah, exactly. This exactly. How did you get so many? Yeah, this is the paid version I'm using, but the free version is really cool as well. You get to know how the program works. You get a lot of cool objects as well. Oh no, it's Blender that I'm looking for. Oh yeah, it's rendering. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop rendering because we don't need to see this. Yeah, just give me a second. And you have a ton of cool textures. You have models, you have scenes, you have lighting settings. I mean, it's a no-brainer if we're gonna use Blender a lot this year. So as you can see, let's just here take our camera so we can watch it. Set active camera. So we can watch everything happen. So we had the models, I showed you the models. We also have texture, let's say marble. I'm just gonna put marble on his head, for example, and now his head is made of marble. And it took literally 1 second, so that's amazing. We have entire scenes. If you like some boxes, if you're a fan of boxes, and you need your boxes in Blender, you can just use this scene with nice lighting on the boxes. If you want, oh, this is super cozy, chair in nature terrain, you can just put your beast in it. Hey, voila, you have a super cool render, and everything is done for you. Lighting, environment, textures, so super easy to use. And you have different lighting setups. I already showed this, but I'm gonna show it again real quick. Let's say I want a different lighting environment. There we go, we have a different lighting environment going on. Let's make it a little bit more nighttime environment. Let's give him a second to download. And we are standing in the same environment, but now it's nighttime. So it's an amazing, we have a nighttime selfie with a marble head right now. So Blender Kit is amazing. You really need to download it. You don't have to buy it because there are a ton of free stuff in there, but really use it and try it out and make cool stuff. That's why we're here, right? To make cool stuff and to be able to use our cameras properly. But I bet you guys know what you're doing, and it's just a creative process, you know. For example, if we're looking here at the little mini screen, I'm gonna go back to animation so it's more clear. As we look here in the mini screen, this is a cool selfie, but for example, if you make it more like this, I think the selfie is way cooler, and it's just another way of handling your camera and choosing where it stands. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to say about cameras today. There are other stuff you can do with the camera, but that's it for me for today. So if you need more